All right. What is up, everyone? This is Jordan here from the Undergraduate Survival podcast. Today we've got a very special guest. This is James, a good friend from school, from the old high street days. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Long time.
Honestly, it's been long since last weekend. It's nuts. I was just thinking to myself as well, literally before we started. Well, before I called you an hour ago. It's nuts how I'm obviously graduated now, but I didn't even touch Warwick. Well, apart from like I went there for the open days, and I thought this place is crap, and that mindset stayed in my head the whole time you were there. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to a on-campus uni.
Yeah.
But I feel like from what I've heard from you, it sounds like it wasn't actually that bad. At least the
Yeah,
campus.
no, it was decent. To be fair, I don't know if it was that worth visiting. I mean, Michael came, like, no one from home visited me, actually. Like, Joseph, you lot, no one. Apart from Michael came twice.
Mm.
One time was pretty good. We went to a rave. And then the other time, like, I think we just sat on the couch and watched Attack on Titan all day. We weren't missing much. Although you guys did arrange to come, one time, and Gareth said he was too tired.
Oh yeah.
4 hours a day job. But yeah, like, I don't know, the Warwick nightlife's funny. It's like, it's good once, I guess, but it gets very tiresome. Cause there's 4 clubs that play the same song every night.
Oh man.
And there's one, especially let's say first year, there's one club on campus, and it's terrible, genuinely awful. I've never had a good time there. I mean, I'm not the biggest club crowd in the world, but I can't reflect on the good time I had there. The ones in like Leamington Spa and Coventry nearby are better, but there's not a huge nightlife. But I also never came Bristol, so.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think anyone. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Gareth and Michael came. Who else came? It's weird because like a lot of students from St. Mark's even came here. I think we had the highest turnout compared to every other.
Probably right. Everyone went there. Well, Kent.
Or Kent, yeah. No, Kent was ridiculous actually.
Yeah.
Kent and there's another one in the area. Is it Canterbury, I think?
Yeah, Canterbury's nearby.
Yeah, that's where Chesna went. Just that everyone went to southeast England.
Yeah. I mean, one or two people went Birmingham. No one was really nearby. Not many people in Warwick.
Is Warwick is it a big uni?
Yeah, it kind of is, you know. It's one of the biggest in the country in terms of student population.
Damn.
But, again, it's pretty like isolated from the rest of the world. And well, not many people live in Coventry. Leamington Spa is like a really small town. So you're kind of like, you don't see many students from other unis there, if that makes sense. But say like people go King's, I don't know at the top of my head, might have a similar population, but you'll see students from a bunch of other unis there. Or like Kent and Canterbury are right next door to each other.
Yeah. But surely Warwick, you have like Coventry, Birmingham, and
you have Birmingham, but you're not actually going to end up going to Birmingham. It is like 45 minutes on the train or something. Like a 45-minute journey doesn't sound that deep, but for a night out, it kind of is. Especially when you're coming back at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's
then Coventry in theory is nearby, but I think I didn't go to Coventry a lot. Especially, it's mostly because mostly everyone lives in Leamington Spa, which is quite a way off Coventry. But I wasn't. Go on, sorry.
Is it a thing where like all the students kind of live in Leamington Spa?
I mean, maybe it's just the people I know. It seemed to be that way. Yeah, which is like Leamington Spa is maybe it's just coming from London, and that Leamington Spa is a tiny town. It's like Richmond, but if Richmond was just in the middle of the countryside, like just isolated from the rest. And say you just don't have just old people and students, and then like heroin addicts.
Oh, nah.
I don't know. think it's a real place. Like Coventry, fair enough, is like half a city. Again, I didn't go there a lot, but Leamington Spa is not real.
It's so mad because when I applied there, they always talked up like, oh yeah, for nightlife, like Birmingham's not that far away, Coventry, and
Yeah.
like, they really sold it as this dream where it's like people always go to like, every Thursday night is like the Cov night, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not the like number one expert on nightlife. I went out a bit, but I didn't go out loads. Yeah, Coventry, I guess some people went quite a bit. There's like one big club in Coventry.
Okay.
Birmingham is like a once a term thing. And like Birmingham is infinitely better. Like Birmingham is infinitely better than Warwick. But, or like Leamington Spa and Coventry. But yeah, it's a once a term thing. You know, I don't think most people go Warwick for the nightlife.
That's true.
So it's almost like a pleasant surprise when there is one.
No, I know what you mean. I actually don't know anyone who goes to Warwick for anything other than maths.
Yeah, well, Jack
Or
and
the
Julian
business
did.
school.
Yeah, I know people who did engineering, obviously, like Jack and Julian. Yeah, I guess that's what it's good at. Quite good for English, I think. Yeah, I mean, I went there and I guess that's so I do know people who did other stuff, but their maths department, like, you look at the buildings of the maths department and the engine, like the WMG building, and they're like these beautiful things, and then like every other department is so crappy and like worn down. Like the maths, I think it's just like they sell that dream. Like the maths department's incredible. It's got like all this artwork in, it's like made out of glass, and then you look at like most subjects have their like stuff in the main building, which is horrible.
Oh man. I remember when I went there, it's like you have to walk, not out of campus, but you have to walk like around the corners, get to maths and stuff, all the nice buildings.
Yeah. That's the bit that's not around the corner, like the main bit. That's where most of your life is for most people, and it's horrible. Like it's kind of nice as well, especially like in first year, right? Because it is in the middle of the countryside. I like going for walks, just like, you know, through the trees and stuff. But then I'd come out of all the trees and crap, and I'd just see like the main building is like, especially I'd go walk for headaches, and so I'd go for a walk, clear my headache, then I'd see the main building and just come straight back out. Like, it's such a nice little.
That's mad.
I think they're building stuff.
I went onto Google, I typed in like Warwick, and all the pictures of the maths building.
Yeah. The maths building's beautiful. It's got fountains and ducks. It's like amazing. But like the main building is not that. Or like the library and stuff.
Did you just have one massive library?
Yeah, there were like other places you can study, but there was just one massive library. Like 5 floors. Which I miss. Like I like that. Oh, and the art center's kind of nice. Yeah, like I do miss the library, like when I have to get work done now, being able, like the library just is the best place to work. Most people there are working quite hard. That's the one thing I miss about uni, is like a good library for working in.
That's true. But I feel like Warwick, at least when I was there for the open day, everyone was like, what's the word again? It's like Osbridge. People are like it's Osbridge and Warwick. Like they say, they were like, oh yeah, Woxbridge, because Warwick is like as good as. That's why I didn't go there in the end, because that one girl just said Woxbridge. I'm like,
that's a myth.
They started selling Halloween zombie run thingy.
Yeah. That might be true for. Yeah, if you type in Warwick Library on Google and like go down you can get a picture of the main building. It's disgusting. Yeah, like that's like Warwick is really good for some subjects. Like I'm not going to slate it too much because you know, like it's good for maths, and like they have a really good maths department, but that's definitely not true across the board. And like they're really good for economics, but again, it's not true for everything. As well, it's obviously not true because that was the first time you heard Woxbridge.
Honestly,
you know, it's probably like in a second, depend on the subject. Like I thought it was really good before I went there, and then going there knocked down my opinion of it. But like, it's probably like in that second bracket after like Oxbridge and maybe Imperial of like the other good unis that aren't Oxbridge.
That's true. I hear that a lot, actually. I think Imperial is probably one of the best ones after Oxbridge, and definitely I think Warwick's up there.
But it's like easy if you only do maths and science to be like Warwick if they just got rid of a bunch of things to get the same reputation as Imperial.
That's true, yeah.
Actually, I think Imperial is better than Warwick for maths, like consistently. But
Really?
it's weird, like LSE has a really good reputation, but last I checked, Warwick was better than it for econ. Like their one thing.
Literally, London School of Economics.
Yeah.
I thought Warwick maths was like by far the best in the country.
It was at one point. It was really good. In terms of, it's like one of the best maths degrees. And what I really liked about it is like, it's specifically set up to be like a really good maths degree. You can like sort of choose, you got a lot of freedom in what you can choose. And you sort of like, I don't know, like that's the main thing. You got a lot of freedom, and you get like, you still get like personal tutors and like stuff like that. Like you would get at Oxford, like to sort of help you with your problem sets and that. You get like personal tutors and mentors. And so it's like a mixture like that. Small group teaching of Oxbridge and, some amount of freedom as well. It's pretty cool. Like I did like, partly because I did math and philosophy, I just didn't do analysis after a certain point, which is like, you know, one of the biggest topics in maths. And I did a lot of algebra and I got probably further in algebra than a lot of people at other unis would have.
Mad.
Or even being able to, like it's probably the second best. Most unis don't offer maths philosophy.
Yeah.
You know, like it limits your options.
I want to go back, like I want to talk about maths philosophy in a sec, but I guess it must sound like a dumb question, but how can you teach maths better than, like, is there only, I don't know how to word the question, but surely there's only one way to teach maths, at least at university level.
I mean, you're half right. But like, I don't know, you can notice it in like lecturer by lecturer variations. I used to think that like certain topics I like, but some lecturers just generally are better at teaching it. The main way is like just reducing class size. Like if you look at how much more engaged we are in further maths that's a class of 11 compared to like core maths, which is a class of 30. You know, a reduced class size really does make a huge difference. I think also having lecturers who are quite good at teaching their subjects helps, which wasn't all of mine, you know, but I'd really notice it with the ones who are. The truth is though, it's probably the same. I doubt, like, I can't remember the uni I was at, but you know, they've pretty much said that really, like, if you're doing a maths degree, you know, at somewhere that's not Oxford or Cambridge and not like terrible, you're getting pretty much the same teaching. And that's probably, you know, that's probably to a large degree true. You know, you can't actually teach, for how much better the reputation is, you can't actually teach math that much better. You can't like inject Galois theory directly in someone's brain with like an Elon Musk microchip. Like there's a limit to how well you can teach it. And these unis look a lot better because they get better students in.
That's the thing. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a large part of it. There's a choice of like what you get to do and stuff as well. Like, you know, what topics are omitted and what topics aren't. But I mean, I'm not a lecturer, so I can't tell. I'm no expert on that. My guess is it's broadly the same. And you know, someone who's like really studious will get more out of like a bad math degree than someone who's not studious at all at like Cambridge.
That's true. I think that kind of applies for a lot of subjects where it's like the work you put in kind of determines how far you get versus like the uni itself.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed that, cause some stuff like I just don't remember and I might as well have not learned it because I didn't work that hard in those modules.
Yeah. That's strange. It's because it's different in engineering, I guess, because like the more wealthy unis obviously teach it better because we have better equipment to actually do what we need to do.
Yeah.
I feel that's unique for engineering. Well, I guess like some sciences as well, where you do like labs and you need like special equipment and stuff. But
Yeah. I guess there's also a difference, right? If you're taking in more able students, you can probably teach a bit further in the curriculum and you can tailor your teaching more to that. So you can go a bit further, would be my
yeah,
guess. Maybe there's not a huge difference though. Like, I feel like I generally noticed there's probably, if you were like an expert in maths, you could work this out. Like, I generally noticed like the algebra teachers at work were really good. Like, they were just better at teaching. Like, they were really clear in the explanations and stuff, and that might be part of why I did so much algebra. And
okay,
it could just be a coincidence, because like they weren't even all algebraicists, but like that's definitely, there's ways in which you can get better teachers, and some unis will be better at teaching some stuff. Or like, I'm pretty sure Bath is really good for applied maths.
yeah, I've heard that actually.
Yeah, which I didn't do no, I did two stats modules, but I pretty much didn't know applied maths, so.
Mad.
Yeah, which, is kind of amazing. It does make me, question the value of my degree.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, surely you'd think a maths degree would have a bit of everything. How'd you get away with missing out all that apply? I guess you did philosophy for a bit as well, but still.
Yeah. So like, I did philosophy, which means I can't do all the maths, and the maths, when I get a miss maths, it would generally be applied. I also there are probably one or two applied modules that I on record did, but Warwick's quite flexible. You can do more modules, than than are on record. So you can do more than like the amount you need to do of modules.
Oh, I know what you mean, like extra.
And I generally do like 2 extra modules and then just not go to the exams for the 2 modules I dislike the least or dislike the most. So that's part of how I got away with, I don't know. I don't want to be selling people hacks in the system, but I'm pretty sure like there was some applied modules that's a way you can skip applied modules. I generally choose against them. But like you have to do, with my degree, you have to do the whole maths core and the whole philosophy core. And that's a lot of modules. And so some stuff's just going to get dropped. And for me, that's always going to be applied maths.
Yeah, I get you. I heard that like doing what's called a joint honors or whatever, if you do like double subjects, people always think it's like 50-50, but it's more like 60% of both. You end up doing way more work that way.
Yeah, that might be true. I only probably did like 2 extra modules more overall than the average math student. But, it's a bigger cognitive load sort of switching between 2 subjects all the time, Like, it's really hard to be doing maths for like 4 hours and then go into a lecture and have to think about why tables don't exist, while like your whole head is working on like a topology problem. Like, I find it hard to switch gears like that. That might be where it's more like to. There's also stuff like, say I wanted to do a lot of PDEs, but to do PDEs you need to have other stuff, you need to know quite a bit of analysis. And I didn't, like I said earlier, I skipped a lot of analysis. So while I was doing my PDE modules, I had to go back and learn all the analysis modules that I didn't set. So maybe it probably is a bigger load that way. I had to learn a lot of the stuff that I didn't end up setting, just like in my own time.
Yeah. No, I get that. How did they? Because I feel like when you Google like best philosophers, you end up with the same people as best mathematicians. Like, do they just teach you from a mathematical standpoint, or is it just super different from like
What, the philosophy?
Maybe not like the course per se, but like at least the way of thinking it to some degree.
Depends. There are some modules that are like normally philosophy modules. I mean, only like I think like 4 people started out on my degree.
Oh,
and,
damn.
2 of them dropped it, and 1 guy retook it. Yeah. So it was just me in the end. There are like people in the years, but they're not going to tailor all the teaching just to me. But there are some modules that are very much they're philosophy modules, but they're basically maths, like the philosophy of maths. In those cases, they will teach you it like a mathematician or logic. And, like in some ways being a mathematician makes you better at writing proofs, writing an essay and stuff, because it's like writing a proof. But then there's some stuff, like there were philosophy modules I did the philosophy of TV and film and literature, and that, I'm the only guy doing maths and philosophy in there. They're not going to tailor it to me, and they teach it like a philosophy module. And they expect, a lot of people doing that are people doing literature and philosophy. And then they're just teaching it from it's like so different to the way I'd be taught anything else. About description and stuff. It was a cool module, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
Like, it's just it's so different to the way, because, in the way you get good at those subjects is by reading all the readings on the reading list and stuff. Like, I know, having a lot of discussions about the course content and being knowledgeable about the background. But being good at maths is just being good at maths. Being good at doing problems and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I mean, it was a cool module. Well, no, actually, I loved it at the time, and now I think back and think, what a waste of time. It's like you're asking questions like, do TV characters really exist? Which I got super into of thinking about. And now I think, I wish I spent that time doing stats.
Yeah.
It's a way more useful question.
To be fair though, I feel like it's good to have at least some degree of not a waste module, but it's a lot. I don't know the word for it, but it's just more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think everything should be about careers. I'm kind of into education for education's sake, If I'm going to read a book, I won't read a life hack book or a business book. I'll read it for fun. And it's the same there. Uni is my only chance to sort of study philosophy. I wouldn't get as deep a knowledge about outside uni. So even though it is useless, it is really interesting.
Yeah.
But again, completely useless.
What are the careers even like? And I mean, obviously you can't get a philosophy. I mean, you can't get a job, I guess, literally called philosophy, a lecturer or something. But
yeah,
what's the career side of that even like?
I don't think it's good. I can't remember. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the average earnings, but I think it's 10K less than maths.
Mad.
So it's not great. I don't actually know, because I wouldn't go for that sort of job. I think it's the same as general humanities. So it'd be the same as the sort of job someone would get from an English or a history degree. I think. Because you're not going to get a job from your history degree being a historian. You're going to go I don't know, being HR, or I don't know what people with humanities degrees do, or recruitment. something about numbers. But I guess journalism, most of it, I think a lot of people do it, try to go and become a philosopher. There's no job where you're going to need philosophy, ever. There's no thing ever where you'll need philosophy, really.
That's true. Apart from if you're ancient Greek.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe I think we could do with more ethicists, people who are professional ethicists and sort of help consult companies on ethics, because they think quite a lot on those problems and would probably give a better answer to them than Mark Zuckerberg. But
that's a good point, actually. I feel like ethics, tech ethics, or however they'd word that, it should be a very big thing, but it's not.
Yeah. It should be professionalized as well. Because at the moment, it's just sort of the decisions of the higher ups.
That's true.
Maybe you could, I don't know, there are a lot of philosophers who, ruminate on what's the nature of knowledge, what does it mean to know something, and maybe you could do with them in education. There's probably room for philosophers to be professionalized. In the ancient Greek world, they literally were. You'd sort of hire a philosopher and ask him for some wisdom. But that's not the nature of it. Because it also used to be like, a lot of philosophers would sort of just write books for the general publics, but these days they're just in academia, and that's the only place philosophers exist, which sort of puts them sheltered from the general world, because I'm not going to pay like £90 a month to subscribe to Reason. Like,
Yeah.
so they're just kind of shut off from the real world. We also used to have things like public intellectuals like Foucault and like Chomsky used to go on TV a lot and just sort of talk about shit, and their books would sell like millions and they'd be celebrities. Don't really, I mean, apart from maybe like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson, you don't get them so much anymore though.
Yeah, that's actually true.
But, you know, that used to be the space of a philosopher. Would be to sort of just be a white, I guess they're podcasters. That's maybe the career for a philosophy degree.
It's true, to be fair. Because a podcast is basically just a long form lecture.
Yeah. And it's pretty, like at its core, philosophy is all about discussion, you know, and that's what's good about podcasts. They're just long discussions. So maybe and like philosophers are quite good at arguing. So maybe that's the space for them. And, you know, like, it's not very useful to my business, to know whether chairs exist, but like an hour-long discussion on whether chairs exist is pretty interesting.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I would listen to that, but I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah. And you probably wouldn't read a whole book on it.
Nah, definitely not.
Like I did, and it was like, I don't know, it wasn't great.
How do you even begin that discussion, like whether or not chairs exist?
Like, the basic argument, right, of whether chairs exist. I mean, there's a lot. The basic argument is something like this, right? So you've seen The Matrix.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, in The Matrix, it turns out everything's a lie. And, like, we're all plugged into the system. So if you were in the Matrix, you wouldn't know you were in the Matrix, right? Okay. And so it could be that we're all plugged in to a sort of matrix system. There are no chairs, that everything we see is a lie that's been plugged into our brain. And if we were in such a system, we'd have no idea, because it's, you know, we can't tell the difference between it and reality. So in that case, chairs wouldn't exist, but we'd have no idea. And that reality is sort of indistinguishable from our own. So if you can't disprove that we're in the matrix, then you can't prove that chairs exist.
Okay. So
they don't use the word the matrix, but,
yeah,
you know, it's called like a radical skeptical scenario where you basically say, you know, because you can't, you know, you could be hallucinating every chair you see. And if you can't prove that you're not, which it's impossible to prove that you're not in the matrix, then you can't prove that chairs exist. And I got quite into that stuff for a bit. It is kind of an interesting discussion, because it means you can't, it makes it really hard to know whether you know anything. Are you like ever justified in knowing anything? Because the same argument could go for like chairs or my parents or even like my teeth. Like, it could all just be made up in the matrix. And so how can I say I know anything? And it's an interesting discussion, but it's not very fruitful. It doesn't get you anywhere.
That's the thing, yeah. Like, you end up going on all day about what's true and what's not.
Yeah. And like in the end, I got into, there's a branch of there was a philosopher who kind of came along, and, his basic response was because they do exist. I think that's probably the best answer. Like, if you spend all day worrying about whether chairs exist, you kind of can't answer more other questions. You just sort of got a bracket that you might be wrong. But it's stuff like that. Like, it's interesting to think about. I'm glad, like, I didn't do, say, a PhD. I wouldn't want my life to be spent thinking about it. Because there's also something I thought about before doing my degree. Not just, like, whether chairs exist, but, you know, stuff like what is the nature of right and wrong? I don't know, what's the nature of time? Do TV characters exist? But the thing is also, because I like maths, I always found the most interesting philosophy to be the philosophy of maths. Stuff like, you know, do numbers exist? Or if they do exist, you know, are they properties of objects, or are they objects in themselves? It's kind of cool. But like, I'd end up, like, a lot of the philosophy I ended up doing was like logic and the philosophy of maths.
That's interesting. I feel
Yeah,
like,
I mean, go
I
on,
mean,
sorry.
yeah, I don't want to end up going like a 3 hour ethics podcast, but but nah, like it's nuts. I feel like maths fundamentally and most things we have in life are just, I mean, they literally are man-made models to better understand how things are, right?
Yeah,
In some
yeah,
capacity. Like you can argue for and against basically anything that in existence.
yeah, and that's where some philosophers come down is, say like maths, it might not be real, but it's really useful, and until it stops being useful, we'll stop using it. You know, like the concept of a carbon atom might be wrong, but like it's really useful,
Mm.
and it helps us get along in the world. Uh, we can sort of you can sit there all day and debate whether chairs exist, but it's not very useful. But also, saying chairs don't exist doesn't help you make a better chair.
Mm. That's true. I guess it just comes down to asking the right questions. And like,
Yeah,
to be fair, I think that's kind of like the basis of innovation in some ways. Like we talked about it a bit in my degree. And it's like, yeah, you can make a car look nicer, but does it actually improve the car? Like, is it actually going to be faster or more efficient or any of these things? And
yeah,
even though it's not directly the same as like what we're talking about in terms of, well, from a philosophical standpoint, but there's always ways, I guess, to waste time or
yeah.
to go around in circles.
Yeah, it's a really important skill asking the right questions. Like, you can almost tell how much someone gets something by the questions they ask. Thingy, do you remember that first math lesson where I can't even remember what it was Mr. Gold was explaining? It's like how you integrate or something, and Patrick literally just quizzed him for an hour. And Mr. Gold was so annoyed.
Oh man, third maths was special though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, no, it's like being able to ask the right questions. It's the thingy, the Henry Ford thing about if asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember that quote.
yeah, you kind of, I mean, I'm not very good at thinking innovatively. That's why I did maths and philosophy, is I like useless stuff.
Yeah. To be fair, it's a
How
good
much
balance.
maths do you do in your degree?
Um, we do quite a lot, but it's like application. It's a lot of applied maths. Sorry.
I see. Is it just like the maths that they do in engineering, but like more so?
Yeah, I mean, we have a module called maths and data modeling, which
Yeah,
is literally like using stats and mathematical models and stuff to try and proofs to explain things in real life. So it's like technically we do a lot of maths, but we only learn it in a way that can be applied to real life.
I see. Is it taught by the maths department?
No, we actually have a department called engineering mathematics. I mean, it's ironic because we're moving into the old maths building, so I guess there's some like there are some parallels there. But no, it's fundamentally done by. I think most of what's different is like in mechanical, the lecturers there are like mechanical engineers or people that specialize in mechanics and stuff.
Yeah,
Whereas our lecturers are, a lot of them are mathematicians.
I see. You teach in the engineering or the mathematical engineering department.
Yeah, so we have a lot of mathematicians and physicists, and not as many, I guess, engineering specialists.
Yeah,
But it
that,
is technically just engineering maths.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the way engineers do maths does piss me off. Like they just skip it, because like they'll be it would take like in maths, it was like it took us like a whole term to learn how to integrate, and they'll just do it in a week because they just aren't rigorous at all. They'll just skip all the steps.
Literally. I think the way we do it is because dude, I don't really like it either, but it makes sense. It's like in production, it doesn't really matter if you're accurate to 20 decimal places. It's only like the first 10 kind of are important. So it's like,
Yeah,
we never round up. We don't even do pi anymore. It's like pi is equals 3.1 and that's it.
yeah. I saw a meme on the internet. It was from an engineering exam, and it was take pi to the exactly 5. They rounded it to the nearest 5.
It's so mad. I don't like it either, but it's just, I get
Yeah,
it.
Yeah. I mean, again, no one would get, if like the world was like run by mathematicians, no one would get anywhere. Like, what's it called? Euler, I think, it was either Catherine the Great or it's like some emperor of Russia hired Euler to build a water fountain, and he built like the most mathematically perfect water fountain. And he was like really happy with it, but it didn't work.
Damn.
And like Euler didn't give a shit because like Euler doesn't really care about whether it works. He just likes numbers.
That's crazy, man.
But I guess also I've never been interested in useful shit. I guess you, Michael, and Carl were a bit different in that.
Yeah. It's ironic you say that though, because Carl's doing like consulting and Michael's a lawyer. Two of the worst jobs in history.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's like boringly practical jobs. But no, actually it's not, because they don't produce anything. They just make businesses like 2% more efficient.
Yeah.
Not to shit on lawyers. My brother's gonna be a lawyer. But no, like they are my least favorite job. I mean, consultancy, it makes more sense. You're like, you're cutting waste in a business. You're doing something practical. Lawyers are just people who are like really good at reading contracts. I think, it's a very pointless job. Like, again, like I do like useless things, but at least like someone who like, I don't know, paints houses, they're physically doing something, you can see it.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I guess. But like, again, they're more in the real world. Like, they're probably, I don't know. That's the way I always saw the split in the further maths class say, was that Patrick and I, compared to you guys, were more just interested in sort of numbers in their like abstracted form, if that makes sense. Like 21 equals 3 times 7 is like really, really interesting.
Okay, yeah.
And then like, I don't know, you guys would say more find like the applications of maths more interesting. But maybe that's me projecting back.
Yeah.
I also realised I write off half that maths class.
In what sense?
In that I just acted like there were 5 people in that class. There were like 10.
In Fabulous.
Yeah.
Who?
That was 10.
Oh yeah, there was 10. Oh, Ashton and Darren didn't continue.
Yeah, there were 2 Gunnersbury guys.
Yeah, like Javier Hernandez and damn, what's his name? Kieran.
Yeah, he was cool. There was Vaughn for a year.
Was it a new year? Oh yeah, because he did chemistry.
Yeah, fuck him. Pussy subject. Now, chemistry's probably, I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't like chemistry shit and like, I hate chemistry and that. But the truth is, I probably would have, like, the reason I did badly in chemistry is because I'm not good at chemistry.
Okay.
I think like, I could just retake an AS chemistry a million years. I would never have got down in a C. That was my peak. Partly because I find it so uninteresting that I can't revise for it. I physically can't bring myself to.
That's the thing. So I think I was just taught badly. Like, I think Dr. Track wasn't that bad a teacher, but she was just terrible to me. It's like, I don't want to do titrations. I don't care. I remember her telling me like to hold the pipette properly because it might like stab through my hand. I was like, no, it won't. Like, I'm 18 years old. I'm not going to cut my hand off with a flipping pipette and a titration tube.
Yeah.
Just teach me about moles and like the maths. Like I only enjoyed the mathy stuff. I didn't care about the actual experiments.
Yeah. No, I didn't care about the maths in it or the experiments. I cared about none of it. I don't know how they made something like chemistry is so interesting and they made it just so boring. It's like one of the most important things in the world, and I just really didn't care.
I remember her telling me as well, Dr. Jack was like, if you actually worked hard, that you can get an A star in this. I was like, I don't want it. I don't want to work. I don't want to do chemistry.
Yeah.
I shot myself in the foot though, so I tried to do the EPQ, but she was at the head of EPQ, so I just couldn't do it because of her.
I see. Probably for the best, like, all the people who did EPQs, like, what benefit was that to them?
Sure.
Well, I mean, I guess they did alright, but like, I doubt it pushed them that much further.
Mm,
Because, like, unis don't care about your personal statement.
that's true.
So, like, maybe it was like Warwick, they literally say we don't read them. Right,
Damn.
for math. Yeah, so it's like, but I'm pretty sure maybe it probably matters. To be fair, when I was applying for jobs lately, it was quite shit. I don't have much extracurricular on my CV.
Mm,
But on the other hand, I still got a job, so,
that's
so
the thing.
that, like, I do think it was talked up a lot. But I'm glad I didn't do an EPQ.
Mm. I do feel like EPQ, all the things they make up in school, like EPQ, DOV, all these, like, even NCS, they kind of just say at the time that, oh yeah, it's great for your CV, but like, no one actually cares. It's all
Yeah.
super meaningless.
Yeah. Like, no job was ever won on a DFE badge.
Exactly.
It is. It's a crock of shit. I think. I think they just make. Am I allowed to swear? Because I realise I've been swearing constantly.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Good.
The more swears, the more views. I did a correlation the other day.
Is it? I know. Just fill the title with swears before you get cancelled.
But nah, it's crazy. I feel like, I mean, obviously, if you enjoy something like that, then it's fine to do. Like, I enjoyed NCS, so I'm not going to complain. But
Yeah.
I know guys who actually did DOV because it'll improve their CV. And it's like, you study film, man. Like, having Python on your CV is probably more impressive than DOV.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what, maybe schools should do that. Just have a 10-week course in Python instead of DFE.
That would actually be a big deal, I feel like. But no one would do it.
Yeah, I would have done it.
I would have done it.
Yeah, that's two of us.
To me, it would have been all of further maths and no one else, and we would have just been like so far ahead of everyone.
Yeah, if it was all of further maths, like no work's getting done. I mean, me and Michael went on that enrichment thing to Imperial, and we just spent. I don't even know what we were doing for the whole 4 days we were there. But we were not doing work. We were just fighting and cracking jokes. Like, I don't think we got much work done. So we're doing Python. Like in general, I don't think I work okay with other people, but I think I work better on my own. I'm too like distractible. I'm not very good. I can't like switch gears that well.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Actually, fine. If it's people who I'm not that close with, or like people who are more serious about their work, fine. But if me, you and Michael were like revising in the same room together, I wouldn't work. I just know I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, that was what 2 years further maths was.
Yeah.
0. I remember talking about, it was actually somewhat interesting at the time. I think you and Michael were talking about how like all the greatest tech innovations come from war. And we had like a whole hour session talking about like world wars and radar, all these things that came out from.
Yeah.
I think you told me about the telescope, I think.
I can't even remember.
It was either you or Carl. It's like telescopes were made so you can like, in war, so you can like, spy on enemy ships and stuff. And it ended up being a big deal in terms of science, but it was literally made just for, for battle.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Is it cool? No, it's pretty good. Like, that's the thing is you got a lot of enrichment from interesting discussions. I don't know how. Yeah, that probably is true. Like, say the Manhattan Project. Like, you're bringing all the world's smartest scientists together in a room. Like, actually, it was slightly after the quantum revolution, but like, it's no coincidence you got like loads of good science around that time. And like, maybe the like Einstein and stuff were in their older years, but you had people like Richard Feynman there who like, he's a young guy and he's spending all his time around the best scientists in the world. Of course, he's going to come up with a load of good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Well, I think it's like any great project, like same with the moon, like we got a ton of great science out of the moon.
Mm.
Because again, you're getting loads of people with PhDs in like engineering and physics together. They're going to invent some cool stuff on the side.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same with like with music as well. I feel like I can't remember. I think it might have been Kanye. Apparently, he's got loads of guys in Wyoming. They're just chilling. Or it might have been Drake or one of these guys, and they put out like one of the best albums of the year.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
was it like Life of Pablo? I think. Didn't he just get bad guys to sit around?
I think he did Jesus is King in Wyoming.
Okay.
Or he does Kanye. I don't know. And he did. He had that island from what's it called? My Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy.
Mm.
Where people, and like a lot of good music came out of that. Cause
That's
like,
the one. Yeah.
like, cause people just come and chill on Kanye Island for a week and, you're meeting, it like brings a lot of interesting collabs together.
Mm.
It's pretty, I mean, most good stuff that people do comes as a group,
Yeah.
In fact, everything people do that's good just kind of comes as a group. Like, is that like the sort of genius inventor doing it all alone is kind of a myth.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Like greatness inspires greatness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, Messi would probably have the stats he has regardless, but Ronaldo certainly wouldn't without Messi.
That's true. But even Messi, like he thrived a lot with Xavi and Iniesta.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's also like times where things just sort of click into place. You have like the perfect combination for that time.
Mm.
That was definitely like one of them. Cause like even Guardiola was like a really great manager then, but he's not been quite the same since.
Yeah. Hasn't won a Champions League since.
Yeah. I didn't come on this podcast to call him a fraud, even if I'm implying it. But like, sometimes like things are just really great for a split second. Also most people are only like really great for a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
they go to Singapore.
Who went to Singapore? I can't remember.
Look, so this is definitely count to hour now.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, what were we talking about before this?
Greatness is achieved in like when you work in groups and stuff. It's completely true. Like I'm trying to think of an example of someone who's like made something great or that did a crazy thing just on their own. And other than like Muhammad Ali, I have no examples.
Yeah, I mean, you do get those ones who are just like singular figures that like, what's it called? Just forces of nature. This book I was reading, Siddhartha, and he talks about it's like most people's lives are like leaves in the wind and they kind of just get blown about like by whichever way life takes them. And then there's like a small few who are like the stars and they just kind of move across the sky and like nothing changes their path. And like Muhammad Ali is like one of them, like, he would have been Muhammad Ali whatever he was doing. Well, yeah. There's like a few like that, but I think most people, it does come from collaboration. Having done this podcast, if you had to go back in time and give yourself advice, what would it have been? Or have you got good advice from this podcast?
As in like back in time to when? Before starting?
Before starting, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it in 5 minutes.
Cool. I'm literally asking the question because I don't know. I probably would have done it all the same. Even though like it wasn't the best, like I don't think. Before this, I was worried you'd ask me to give advice because I don't have any to give.
Nah, that's not the way we do. To be fair, I've had that a lot. A lot of people have said that. And I think to kind of clear that question, I guess my mindset when it comes to like advising people or like even just being useful is that it's way better to speak from experience and to tell your story than it is to like give advice. Because no
Yeah.
advice is ever going to be accurate because everyone's got different perspectives, different circumstances.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like, even you just saying like, you didn't go to Coventry much and work, even though it's not advice, people that are applying might be like, oh shit, maybe I'm not going to go there because no one really goes to Cov like that. I mean, obviously it's unique to the person, but it's all about perspectives, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, I don't think I've given my story or spoken from experience. I think I've just chatted shit for it.
Yeah, I mean, the moral of the story is that work is shit. And
Yeah, no, Warwick's alright. Like, don't let me get too down on Warwick. Like, I didn't, like, have an amazing time there. I still had, like, a pretty good time. But I think that was by coincidence. It's just, you don't really go to Warwick to party. I probably, went out more than most people at Warwick.
okay.
It's just, it's like most things are good. It's just got a really terrible nightlife, and that's how we happen to kick off the episode. Most people are going to click off at 10 minutes and go, Warwick shit. Just put this to bed. And like a lot of the reason Warwick shit is like my fault. And like most people are going to be as retarded as me.
No, I hear you. Then what would you say? I mean, in a brief way, what was good about Warwick? Obviously you talked about the math department and stuff, but how could you have made it better for yourself?
I don't know. I didn't, I don't know. Like, it was mostly good for me. I could have been more social. Like, I was really antisocial. Like, I pretty much only spoke to my housemates in second and third year. But then, so what I mean about advice is I don't know how I could have been less antisocial. I think it's just my personality.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm a person who's well suited to like academics, at all. I find it like really hard to concentrate and like, I don't know, I don't like it. So it's hard because like, I don't know, I could say to myself to make it less shit. I guess it would be like maybe join some societies if I was given the short and easy answer.
Yeah.
Because like that'd probably contribute to my lack of social life is not being part of any societies. Well, like not going to societies and not going to any lectures combined. Like, where are you going to meet people? The only place I saw people was my house. So it'd probably be like, go to societies or go to lectures, like one of the two. I also gave the mindset that, I think the mindset I went in with was that I wasn't going to make any friends there anyway, which was probably the wrong mindset because it meant that anyone I met, I would keep at a distance, really.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I think I don't know, I can be quite guarded in general. I also saw a meme on Twitter where part of it was also I was like, I'm here to study, I'm not here to make friends. I think I saw a meme on Twitter where a guy showed up to uni in boot cuts. I'm not here to make friends. And I think I don't know, I don't know where that mindset came from. Probably, yeah, trying to study, and like, just, I don't know, I was happy with my friends from home. I wasn't, I didn't think I needed loads of new friends. Like, I probably have too many as it stands.
Yeah,
Which is not being Mr. Popular. I just find it like hard to maintain relationships with people, which certain men get really offended by. But like genuinely, like, like it's deep. I don't want to make friends with someone when I know I'm just not going, like, I do try to keep my circle small because of that, because I know I'm not great at like keeping in touch with people.
Yeah. No, I get you. I think I'm the same, to be fair.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All of Singapore is just cancelled though. This episode's not going to stream in Singapore now.
Yeah, that's true. That's fine. What even is there in Singapore? It's a terrible country.
It's literally just a city it's a Malaysian city.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's everyone goes, oh, look how rich Singapore is, but it's just like, obviously it's that rich because it's a city. You can't, it's cheating.
You can't just like in the country.
Yeah, then going like, oh, look how rich this country is. It's cheating. Yeah, I mean like, yeah, and all like, everyone goes, oh, look how good their health statistics are. And it's like, yeah, because alcohol costs like £20 a pint. and you get beheaded if you do drugs. Like, obviously, it's got really good health statistics.
I was reading some of their laws the other day. It's actually crazy. It's like if you I think it's like if you kill yourself, it's a crime, and like your family's got to pay for the shops in the city and all this madness.
Maybe it's because of the tone of this conversation. There's something quite funny about that. You're like grieving because like your dad or someone's just killed themselves, and then someone shows up with a bill. Like, how do you actually have the guile to do that?
How do you even respond to that? It's like, I wouldn't even grieve my dead sibling. I'd be like, why would you do this to me? I haven't got 10K for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the debate I often get into with Michael, is he thinks that's a better system. I'm generally a fan of like freedom of speech and stuff, but there might be an argument for it. I do like London is very dirty.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I need to go to experience it and don't just judge it from like Wikipedia articles.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, I enjoy Singapore, but obviously it's different as a tourist compared to living there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'd live there though.
Mm.
I mean, again, having not been there, so I have no expertise to go on. I don't think I would. It's not the sort of thing I'm interested in. I'm very like, having lived at home for the past year, I'm very happy. I might move to somewhere else in London, but I'm pretty happy in London. It's good, like, having people you know around.
That's true. Do you prefer living at home to living at uni? Or just living away in general?
Oh, fuck, no. No, it's fucking terrible. No, I like that I get, like, again, as I said earlier, I'm not good in keeping contact with people. So I can, like, see, you know, random people I wasn't seeing that much at uni. That aspect is good.
Mm.
But obviously, I'd much rather live with my mates. That was the one good thing about uni, was like I had really chill houses, and so like that was actually great. You know, people I really got on with and I could just chill with all the time. Like,
yeah, that's massive actually.
And no stress, like house situation, like, you know, because it means you don't have to. It's part of probably what's quite antisocial. It's like I don't have to make something happen. I can just come in and watch TV with my mates. Like that kind of changes the game up. So no, in short, I'm much like if I could just move my uni house to like Hounslow, not even Hounslow, Hounslow's shit, but like somewhere nearby, that'd be great.
Mm. No,
yeah, it's nice like having so many people like on your doorstep.
Literally, yeah. I think I had the inverse experience where it's like my houses were calm, but I never really felt at home. Like I couldn't just go outside and watch TV. I'd always feel like there's my room for myself and then the kitchen for like something else. But like I completely see the benefit of like just literally being like calm wherever you go, having like, you know, cartoons in every room, you know, being able to do what you want. Like that's such a vibe.
Yeah, like I literally like, you know, you can just knock on your housemate's room and go, are you free? Like, and see if they want to do something. Yeah, it was quite sick. And it makes it more like a house instead of like several rooms. And
yeah.
kitchen. Like, cause, you know, I had that vibe, like in, obviously like first year you're in halls and that, but sort of not having that same sort of deal in first year was part of why I didn't enjoy it, you know. You know, just not being surrounded with, like, I got no beef with people, but like not being surrounded by people, you know, who you're really chill with is kind of different.
Yeah, for sure. Would you have still gone to work? Like if you were in year 13 right now, applying to places?
Good. Maybe. I see. I don't know where else I would have gone because I still would have done the same degree, and I probably would have rather have gone. Maybe it would have been good if we both went Bristol. I think I would have rather gone Warwick than Bristol. Like I really hated Bristol when I looked around there.
Yeah.
And then I've been like, and then Bristol's like number 3 for maths philosophy. Obviously, I didn't get into Oxford, so I
Mm.
don't know what comes after that. I guess I could have done straight maths somewhere. I probably still would have gone Warwick, but I would have done things different. Uh, but yeah, I probably still would have gone Warwick.
Mad.
It was overall quite good, I think like
Mm.
any gripes I have with it are like more my problem than Warwick's problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Apart from like the terrible nightlife, but I don't like love clubbing anyway, so.
Mm. To be fair, COVID made me realize I don't like it too much either. Like I'm not concerned about clubs being closed all of 2020 at all.
Yeah, nah, not at all. Like, it's alright. It's okay every now and again,
Mm.
but it's not amazing. Uh, there's a lot of stuff I'd rather do.
Mm.
Like, I'd rather go around with friends and just sort of chill for the same amount of time and get a similar amount of wave than, go club.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's like okay every now and again. I think plus uni club ruins it. Like clubs outside of uni are a lot better.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, yeah, I quite, yeah, no, I don't think I haven't actually thought about missing clubs in ages. Like, I haven't thought this is something I pine for, you
Not
know,
at all.
since I left. And I don't do it in my day to day. Like, I guess I kind of miss pubs, but even not a lot. I miss some pubs.
Mm. The pubs are open now for you, aren't they, in London? Well, until it's tier 3.
Yeah, but it's like rule of six and outside. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna sit with like five of my mates in the freezing cold.
Yeah, no, sure.
Like, I went Sunday and Friday. No, I went Saturday and Friday. It was decent. It was so cold though.
Mm.
Like, it kind of just ruins it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't think I've
Uh,
touched a pub at all this year, which is a shame.
at all.
Actually, no, that's not true. I saw Sean and Shane
Oh yeah, I remember that day.
at one point, yeah.
Yeah. I don't like, I'd rather again chill around a friend's house than go pub, but it's the next best thing.
Yeah, especially when everyone's living at home. Like a pub's a
Yeah.
necessary trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like big groups either. So like, I don't mind pub if it's like a few people and it's kind of quiet. I don't like big loud pubs.
Mm.
And like my idea of hell is like a large group of like 15 people going to a club.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and I did way too much of that at uni. It's not fun. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm the type to go to pre's, just chill and then leave afterwards. I
Yeah, pre's are
don't
calm.
enjoy clubs.
Yeah. If the music's better, fair enough.
Mm.
But I don't know why, just because it's like a pub, they choose such terrible music.
Wish I knew. That's how they sell tickets. I think it's just a big.
Yeah, I guess it just goes back to that. I also just hate people. There was a time I was in a club. I was quite awake, but I was just thinking, man, individually, like, if I'm one-on-one with a person, I don't hate him, but people I fucking hate. If I see a place with a lot of people, I just hate everyone there. I hate people. Like, plural.
No, I know what you mean. That's the thing. Like, I think it's the herd mentality, and being in groups is just fundamentally a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm quite contrarian, so if I see a lot of people like something or think something, my gut reaction is to think it's terrible.
Yes, no, I know what you mean. I don't really mind people apart from Brandon.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have him back on now. We're gonna have to sell the scores on this.
Just have a recurring back and forth between.
Yeah. Well, it goes from like so indirect to me being almost completely direct. It's gonna get aggressive. The
I'm just
funniest thing is, I don't think he meant it. The perceived slight in the last episode. Now he's going to listen to this.
He's the first person I'm going to send this to.
Yeah. And the person we discussed before.
Oh, yeah.
So that bit's still to come.
Yeah, everyone apart from you, and Josh that live in Heston is a terrible person.
Oh my god.
For sakes.
Oh, exactly.
I need to burn this episode onto a CD and leave it in one of the local dumpsters. I think they'll find it there. Behind one of the bins. Oh, man.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the plan. Good. Alright, cancel time. We've crossed the Rubicon.
Oh, man. Also, fuck B-side, actually, while we're at
Yeah. Especially Jason.
it. Jason sent me, he found a clip from the Josh Core episode. At the very end, where he said, fuck B-side.
Is it? What, and you pulled it up?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. He's reading the transcript, so I might as well just go off on him. He's gonna, I could have whispered fuck Jason then and he would have found it. Audio scrubbed it.